Well, hello, hello, my beloved Ascension pioneers, my fellow light beings. Welcome to another video of mine, together with my crystal, my new, my new attribute, my new divine companion. I have just read here in the new oracle cards I received today. I hope you can see. It's an Angel Dreams Oracle card, and it says here about the selenite that it also acts as a magic wand, and its energy expands all it comes into contact with. So all of you, I just need to hold it constantly, and it has such a strong and potent energy. So wow, I never knew I'm going to have my own energy wand. I feel like a princess now, which I am. So anyway, beloved Ascension pioneers, my fellow light family, I would like to talk on a really about really interesting subject today that is something that really came from my heart today. Well, I was talking to Yanni on the phone because due to certain external coincidences, which we know they don't exist, but something we create on our own to come to deeper and deeper realizations, well, he's not here, he's somewhere else. So this is not important. The important is the realization that came through forth. And before I would expand further on this, I would like to read something to all of you now, because we've been in a period that some people now, I think just yesterday I saw Lee Harris' video report on the energies for February, because you know there are many astrologers and numerologists who say, wow, February will be so amazing, and everybody speaks about the amazing aspects. There's a few people, and Lee is one of them, and I'm one of them, and Kara is one of them, and so forth, who also, you know, expose the other side of the equation, which is the purging, the, you know, that accumulation of the old, which eventually needs to go out. He called it the muddy days, you know, January, its intensity. I've been speaking about it as well. This all is very aligned with what we've been saying. So I wrote this short writing for all of us right now, what is truly important, because sometimes, you know, people say, oh yeah, you know, I don't care what's happening, you know, inside of me, because it's all in divine order anyway. And I always speak about the divine order of things and divine timing of things coming into light, to awareness. But you know, this is not always the same approach as being passive about it. And I'll read this right now, and then I will further expand, because the main purpose of this message is to speak about divine reunion in all of us and how not to take it for granted, okay? When we are in the middle of mental, emotional, and physical cleansing, which are the lower bodies, it is not enough just to know that all is happening as it should. Of course, that is the higher perspective within oneness, but we still reside within our human self, and we need to put things into a new perspective and assess them. We assess things when we go deep within and see the repetitive inner patterns that reflect through external events, situations, people, or places in our lives. The external triggers are only holding a mirror so that we can take a good look into it. So many still refuse to see the bigger picture because they get stuck in on the passive mode of being. Letting go and embracing everything as it is just not the same as being passive. Passive, you know, this is something very different, and this letting go and surrendering is actually being active through surrendering and allowance, which is sometimes not easy to understand. The difference is subtle but very apparent. While in the surrender mode, we need to have a good look into our lower bodies and recognize the lurking patterns aside of them. Sometimes you might feel, oh, I'm not going to take a look at that part because it might hurt, but without the exposure to it, you're never going to feel it. So what you can feel, you can't heal. So make whole again as it is. This is how our true spirit nature, our spirit self, is working in unison with our human self. Being able to go deep inside and allow to feel why and where there is still residual pain brings us to confrontation with our human self and all that is still sitting in the darkness. When we do that, we provide a space of allowance for this to come into light of our being. When we do this, then all that is left is purity and freedom of our beloved I Am presence that can start shining forth. So in order for us to embody more and more of our I Am presence, we need to let go more and more of that residual crap, basically. I know this sounds so simple, and in fact, it truly is. What we need is the courage and bravery to go deep enough to reach that wounded core and confront it with the divine love of our true self. So we all know that the true miracle worker is the glue that binds all things together, which is divine love. And I would like to address this very important topic right now and apply this to divine reunions. So many people, like I've said recently in a couple of my videos, and we will be sharing further on now through our own examples and embodiment with Yanni, but until he gets here, until we get everything settled around our videos, because I've said before that we have recorded something, but the voice wasn't apparent enough, wasn't good because of the wind, because we're recording in nature. So until then, I would like to address the subject on my own through my own inner guidance. And yesterday I've been listening to this beautiful radio show with Kara. She was the guest on Enlightened with Truth Radio. And it was a beautiful, beautiful show about the divine mother, the divine feminine, and its aspects. So this really awoke me to even greater feeling of everything that is really swirling inside of us and coming to surface. Anyway, what I came to this realization about that, I share that many people ask me, many people write to me, and there's so many who can't hold that space of divine love. So what is the true nature of spiritual reunion, of divine, two beloveds meeting each other, in two bodies, one soul split into two, coming together for the purposes, always at the first place, embodying true love, which is divine love. It's not emotional love. It's not any other forms of love that we know it. And through, healing through, holding through those layers of our lower bodies, which are physical, mental, emotional, those residual pain, we're actually allowing that divine love to shine forth, because that is the glue of everything. So today I've been talking to Yanni. I've been channeling, sourcing basically all of these things that sometimes, why this is happening, why these divine couplings cannot stay together or cannot hold the space of that intense feeling, which I have to stress here is not the same intensity as it is within the divine nature of those relationships that come together to fully open and activate one's heart, or both individuals' heart. It's not the same. The intensity of a twin flame coupling is within that intensity of your awakening to your true self, basically. It's not the intensity of you wanting to be with someone so desperately and being attached to it. It's not that kind of intensity. I shared this on our forum, and you can find the link on our Facebook page as well, because I've shared the topic in question that was asked by someone. If, you can meet your twin flame, your beloved, while you're actually with someone or they're with someone. So I've been, you can see that there. I won't be addressing this in this video. But the thing I want to say is, no matter who we are in spirit, no matter how strong we are in spirit, it's not about a certain type of being that we are, but the integrity and the strength of our potential within the spirit seed that is within all of us. But, our individualized I am presence. That itself does not govern our experience here in the physical. One example I will give you is what Kara mentioned on her show yesterday when she was explaining the soul essences that Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, and Sophia hold within themselves as the three new graces. And she was explaining about the Mary Magdalene, that her example is a complete switcheroo, because she went from a lot of ego self to complete transformation and a beautiful expression of compassion, and she embodies in courage. Her soul essence basically that is stressed there is courage, while Sophia has wisdom and power, and Mother Mary has, divine love, nurturance, mother aspects, and so forth, healing as well. Well, this is what I want to talk about today. This example really shifted me to speaking about this, because a lot of the times people take things for granted here. Once you come here to Earth, especially in the very New Age movement kind of thinking, people can go like, well, but I'm this being, and because I'm this and that, I have the potential to overcome everything, or it is destined for me to be this and that, and to accomplish this and that. And they have this sense of destiny, which of course it is a part of the equation. But you have to know something. We are here on Earth. And like I've been writing in this article, you have to know that your human self is a part of this equation once you're here embodied in the Earth. Same goes for twin flames. No matter how strong and potent you are, when you incarnate here, you will be dealing with the same physical challenges. Even if you're coming from the planes that are complete divine will alignment, when you come here and you still are within these laws that, apply to Earth density as it is right now. Earth is shifting, and you're a part of this process, especially twin flame couplings who really come here to show the template of divine love. Not only those who are here together, but those who merge their presence in their twin flame in the spiritual. They're also walking this path together, just not fully two bodies sharing here. And this does not matter. So what we do is we tend to sometimes basically disregard the nature of our human self. And I've been speaking about this before, how we really don't take into account our human nature. We always say, but we're spiritual beings. Yes, we are. But we need to know that our spirit self and our human self can only co-create and walk along this journey together, hand in hand, both as one. So the same way our physical being is here as a template to manifest things to be in the physical, so divine love to flow in the physical, the spirit self is the one who teaches, or through divine remembrance, ignites this process through the physical then. So you need both. As in twin flames, you need both aspects. Once again, I've been reminded about this video, who in the twin flame relationships recognizes itself first. And it's actually the man planting the seed through the woman, through the womb, and then the woman remembers as well. And it's in the third chakra. It's in our knowing center. And the thing is, I don't know, I've just been guided to that video again. And I've been, that was already explained in one of my videos, how this process of recognition is, how it's unfolding. But what I want to stress here today is you need both. You need the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So I cannot get pregnant with new creation, with new seeds, with new, I don't know, whatever I will be choosing to create, so bring forth through conception. And the man can also not plant their seeds if they don't have that womb to, utilize it through. So both aspects are needed. If you're one of those who is experiencing a twin flame reunion, you have to know that only your divine integrity will be what is needed for your mission to really be accomplished. That means for your full awakening to your divine self and potential. It's not in definitions in terms of your physical power. Some people say, because I'm so powerful in spirit, I'm so powerful as earth being. And this is not true. The only thing that is, driving you forward actually is grace. And that grace is achieved through devotion and integrity. So if I don't know how aware in spirit, but I can't really utilize and function within that, in this human form and in the human template, in the physical, that helps me, not at all. So the thing is, what I would like to stress here is the divine reunion takes both approaches, the spirit and matter, which is feminine, masculine, the passiveness, the creativity, the action, movement. You need both, the seed and the fertilizer, so the womb, that which grows the seed. Anyway, what we do in relationships, we take things for granted. We are within a certain relationships and couple. Let's give this hypothetical example, okay? A couple would say, but we're twin flames. So naturally, our love, which is so beautiful and amazing, will make everything work and will do everything naturally. Yes, divine love and you loving each other. But divine love is one of the aspects. It's not one of the aspects, it's who we are. But how we experience and live ourselves as who we are here on earth depends on our willingness and our perseverance. Vigilance, of course, as well, but mostly I would call this devotion. And comes through purity, and that activates your inner grace, which is the divine feminine that drives forth all creation and all life forms and, all existence. So the basic thing here is don't take anything for granted. Nothing is taken for granted. There is no fated outcome. You are the one who's creating it. So let's take this example of, many couples. I remember there was this great couple. Everyone used to admire them and look up after them and look up to them. And they were just like amazing. So when they split up, everybody was just so psyched and they just couldn't believe. They were shocked. And they even wrote notes to that couple. And it's just not something, just love itself. Just you saying, okay, I will be with you, you be with me. And that will, take care of everything else naturally. Because it's that devotion through spirit, being totally in oneness all the time, which is getting you forward in your true embodiment of divine love, which is the true purpose of twin flame nature relationships, because they're not even relationships, they're reunions. Why they're reunions is because they reflect this especially, you know, and that nothing, you know, what I can say is, I remember I said this to Yanni today, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Let's take, for example, 200 meters of snow would fall where you are now, and I would never see you again. But in spirit, I have to be devoted. I have to be devoted, even if that means my twin is no longer here. Like, for example, you can take this as examples of many other couples like Mary and Jesus. It doesn't matter whether twin flames or soulmates. You see, that's the whole thing. The divine reunion template will spread out to all relationships, because you are activating your twin nature potential, which is your creation, divine principles creation potential anyway. It doesn't mean that there's someone physically has to be here with you. You can have that in the physical with someone who is not necessarily your twin flame. And those who just, you know, literally hang themselves upon this idea are missing the whole point of this. What is the true purpose of this? So, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. You have to really, you know, go through those layers of heavy density. Sometimes, you know, you might choose a body, you know, like, for example, Kara has said for Mary Magdalene. Jesus has chosen a family with Mary, who was also his teacher, and it was much easier for him to be very much integrated and activated into the spiritual knowing and wisdom. And Mary was not. She was in a different family. So I remember also reading a novel about her, and it was very much in alignment with what Kara said. And when you look at that, we choose different bodies, we choose different potential, sometimes especially for the part of the purpose of what we are to develop here on Earth. So if I'm to develop, you know, emphasize my spirit quality, essence, which is strength already, which many people know me about. And it's probably no coincidence why I mostly speak about self-empowerment, is because even Yanni told me your word is power. And I really associate with that. And the whole thing is power, that perseverance, that devotion is what guides you forth. There is no guarantee for any one of us. You know, people say, oh, but you have all that awareness. And yes, I do. And I keep having it. But if I can't use it and utilize it here in the physical realm, I have achieved nothing. You see, I have on a certain level, but it really takes all that is in your spirit devotion. So sometimes when we're with someone and we say we're in love and we're a beautiful couple and people look up to us, and then you would be very much going into the physical and you would start creating from the physical instead of your true spiritual core, which is divine love, and bring forth all of the creations through that, then you would really go sideways. You wouldn't go through your true self. So that is why I said to Yanni today, we have to learn here. So basically remember what we already are and know in spirit. So that's why there is no guarantee for any of us. And we take things for granted so much on this plane of existence, thinking that, yeah, you know, all is as it should be, then we don't do anything. Yes, it is, but we also have to put our input. You know, these are things that are still very much not understood properly by many individuals, you know, especially the borders where the free will zone and divine will or destiny and your own free will creations are meeting each other. So where there's this alignment, where they cross one another, where there's a threshold, that's where you come in. And like I say, it's up to you. It's up to each and every one of us. Sometimes we wait for the external change to come, or we wait for our beloved to do something, but it's not like that. Also, when you're in a reunion, know that you can't solve things on your own. You have to do it together, because the whole principle is that of unity, of divine connection through two within one, and creating the third. I made a beautiful altar today. I'll try to photograph it and put it on Facebook, which represents exactly that. And that's why one of my main messages today is don't take things for granted. You have to be devoted. I think one of my divine companions wrote today that she always sees such a beautiful devotion in me. And even when we fall in those muddy days and heavy times and think that everything has just changed so much, sometimes we don't even feel we recognize ourselves. Perseverance is the word. You know, only our spirit strength will show what we're really made of. It's not our physical cluttering and trying so hard and pushing things. Like Kara said in her yesterday's show, in the divine feminine zone, you know, that awareness we create from being, not doing, which is something that many can't grasp on. They think you just sit and just wait for things to manifest. No, but you only act when you're truly guided to act. And this is our divine nature in all of us, the divine feminine nature. So the alignment with our source, Alcyon, has triggered a lot of that. That's why the 2012 portal of light and the shift has opened so many gateways, flooded with light, flooded with new things to be integrated. And like I said, there is no guarantee. There is no end line. There is no you will succeed, you won't succeed. There is no success anyway. We have to stop valuing things in such a way, you know, or labeling them in such a way, or feeling them in such a way. We just have to shift from the perspective of always being devoted in every now moment, and just thinking that when we stop taking things for granted, that is when true miracles will occur. And when, like I said, if you're one of those twin flame couples, you have to always feed the fire in your flame of your one flame. You have to keep feeding them but from within. You know, like this example that I have for all of you is you can spend every day together and do every activity together, but if it won't be aligned with your pure soul core through divine love, you'll be fooling yourselves, because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is not doing, and constant physicality, but it's integrating more and more of your divine core essence, because that is your true purpose. That is your true nature. A lot of the twin flames say, well, you know, I'm waiting for this mission to fall, you know, from the sky on my head and just tell me what to do. You are the purpose, but it takes the integration through devotion and courage of your core self, which is divine love. And in order to get there, like I said, you have to clear everything that you're not. All of the lower bodies. So, namaste, beloved co-creators and divine companions. Don't take things for granted. There is no guarantee for anyone. So many people can hold this space. It is really intense. It is really intense, because we here are seeing that although we might know everything in spirit, as humans, through this body that we have chosen, we have to pick all the strength to truly embody what we already know. It's not always a light task. But remember, we're in this together. So until further ado, until further notice, I'll be back with all of you shortly. And I'll be expanding more in the topics of twin flame relationships, more in practice together with my own beloved. So thank you for watching and stay tuned. I love you all. Bye. And this little guy says hi as well.